Hello everybody, welcome back to the workshop. So today we are going to be working on a heart again. So I made this in another video. I'll put the link to that video in the description down below. But this simple heart that we made in this other video can be elaborated on, like I had said in that video. So what we're going to do today is we are actually going to add this heart to the front of some copper. So I've got a piece of copper here that I use for all my stuff. And you can see I have already laid out some scribe lines. I'm going to end up cutting this out and attaching it via some copper rivets to this steel heart. And then, or before then, I will actually stamp some lettering in here, some wording for a loved one. Now you got a simple stamp set. I'll put the links to the stamp set in the description down below. It's an affiliate link. Helps to go support the channel if you decide to buy from that link. If not, you can read up on the material, the thing that you want, and you can go just get it at your local hardware store. So, as you can see, hopefully, let me zoom you right on in there. Hopefully you can still see that pretty good. I want to readjust this a little bit on the focus so you guys can see. So this right here is just a simple scribed out outline of the heart. Now I'm going to leave the internal point. The only reason why I scribe the inside portion is so this way I know where to stay in for the compounds for the actual heart itself. I didn't want to end up getting it where it was going to be an issue, if you know what I'm saying. I didn't want that to be an issue of stamping outside my line somewhere and then cutting off part of my wording. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out on a throatless shear. I'm just going to go ahead and cut it all out. And once I get it cut out, then I will drill some holes in this where I'll do my riveting work. And I will lay it over this and clamp these two together and then go ahead and drill through the holes that way. And then that way I can take and put in my little copper rivets and rivet them down. And this is just a nice decorative way of making your heart a little more meaningful. Okay, now that we've got this heart little cut out on the outside, now we can overlay our steel heart on there, and you can see how we can very easily create this very decorative little look here. I'll rotate it towards the camera here so you guys can see what we got going on. So now the only thing to map out is decide where we would like to take and put in our individual little rivets, if you will, to hold this on. Now you can choose as many as rivets as you'd like. If you're not too comfortable with your riveting abilities, I would choose for only going with maybe 4 rivets or something of that nature. But this is how I figure out what I want here. I'll go off this point of the heart. I'll come off the other point of the heart about the same distance. That was 2 inches. So that's what we're looking for here as well. And you can tell that got all goofy like. Didn't quite get it at the 2-inch mark. But I'll line these up here. Just give me a little quick scribe line across. Just like so. And then you can, like I said, you can choose where you would like to put in your rivets and how many of them you would like. It's really up to you. I'm going to do a total of 6. Trying to keep them fairly even. It's okay if they're not perfect. You're just, again, you can really choose what you want. But I'm just going to go somewhere in here and somewhere in here. Just whatever looks about right on those. So that's where I'm going to put them. I'm going to try to aim for the center. And we're going to just go ahead and center punch mark everything. I'm going to go right here dead center if I can. And come back a little bit on the anvil. Put a center punch mark. Same thing on the other side. Put a center punch mark. And these will go pretty simple. We're just going to drill them out. Now here I had a touch mark already, so I'm actually going to just do it just a little bit below that line. Keeping an ideal on the other side, the same distance, if I can. And put in my little punch marks where I want them on both sides. So there we go. So I'm going with 6 little rivet points. Like I said, you guys can choose to do what you like. I'm just going with 6. So I'll go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see what's going on there. So as you can see, that's what we've got going on. And those will get drilled for whatever size copper rod I have or copper wire that I'm going to be using instead for my little rivet pins. And so this way I can slip that in there and do that. So let me go ahead and I'll get these drilled out and I'll be back with the wire, and then we should be able to clamp this up and rivet it up. Okay, so now let me walk you through what I've got here. What I have done is I have cut off my little copper rod to the correct fit for this happens to be for this plate. So the total thickness of this plate together was about 1/4 inch. And so I don't need a lot of copper because it spreads out a whole lot. And so I cut it to where there was 1/8 inch or a total of 1/4 inch extra of material. So there's about 1/8 inch of each side. So that's a total of 1/2 inch is what I cut this at. Now, I've already went ahead and secured these 3 points. It was less hassle than having to do it on camera. But the thought process is the same. You want to get this good and locked up, and you can use a good pair of visa grips to do this. Get this really pinched together real good. And drill 2 holes opposite corners of one another and get those riveted in first. That will hold this whole piece together while you drill all the successive holes and then go ahead and get them riveted down. So I've got all my rivets in place as more or less placeholders, and all you gotta do is just hammer straight down on these. Now I'll set that first rivet, then I'll come around to each rivet after that, get them spaced about right. I'm hovering slightly above the surface of the anvil, get my spacing right, and then once I got them set to where they're not slipping through the holes, then I can come along to each one and give it its final look and its texture. Just like you see there. And just like that, voila! You've got it riveted together. So now the the steel front and the copper back are all together. You can see the rivets through that part there. And then now all that's left is to take this to the belt sander or file this, and file this profile smooth to where everything is in line. And then once you get it all in line, then you have a choice to make. You can either put your stamping in the center of the heart here, or at a later date you can get this all smooth and you can actually engrave the back of it. And it makes a nice little piece for that someone special in your heart. So, excuse me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm not going to do all the whole finish work and stuff just to save time on this particular video, but I really hope that you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a thumbs up. Once again, this isn't like a full tutorial. This is just kind of just to show you what else is possible with that steel heart we made the other day. And I really hope you guys enjoyed the video nonetheless. So like I always say, God bless you, and we will catch you on the next one.